Welcome back to Thailand ChitChat. Today we have Business ChitChat. Basically, it's a playlist which we are developing to help people within business, which gives them some helpful information to run their business or to grow their business. So today we're talking about remote workers. So this is relevant to anyone that is a remote worker, but also anyone who's looking to employ a remote worker in Thailand. What we're going to discuss is basically a change within the Labour Protection Act. Yeah. The change is basically giving a proviso within the legal framework for employees to be able to work from home, but also to protect the employer. So the key phrase within this is may agree in the employment contract. And the reason for that may agree is that there's no legal requirement to have an agreement for remote working. Basically, the employee will be allowed to bring work to perform at home or at the residence of the employee or anywhere that the employee can work remotely through information technology if the nature of their work permits. That is the sort of statement. Yeah? So how does this actually work? Well, the first thing is you have to put this in writing. Okay, if it is a laissez-faire situation where you're saying that occasionally someone works from home, you don't really need an agreement. That's just something that's there. But if you've got somebody who is primarily working from home, then you should have some form of agreement in place. And within that agreement, it should state the period of the agreement. Now, this could be something repeating, etc., a rollover, but it should state some sort of period of the agreement. You also, within the agreement, you have to say the normal working hours. You have to state the rest periods and any overtime work that is required. You also have to have a criteria of the overtime work. You also have the holiday work and also various types of leave. So just like a person who's working out of an office, you have to cover that as well. Yeah? But if there's a remote worker, which is a tendency now. I know people that were working in Bangkok and now working from up country. They have their work permit, etc., but they're just not working from the office, and they just come down infrequently. It should also state the scope of work and the control or supervision of the employee and regard the employer as well, yeah, and the responsibility for arranging supplies and equipment, including necessary costs related to the work. So, if you're working from home, you maybe need a printer, you obviously need a computer, maybe you need a scanner, maybe you need a telephone. Is there some allowance for that? Are you taking up space? Are you using aircon? What is the agreement on them working from home? Yeah. So these are the key areas. Some other areas I would suggest that people do consider is commitment to coming to the office. Have it in writing, and maybe you expect them to come in every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday, or every Wednesday, or whatever it is. That so many times, it may say so many times a month, or maybe you want to have a meeting within a sales team, for example. You've got somebody working from Chiang Mai. But you want them to come to Bangkok every Wednesday or something like that, and they have to fly down, which you cover that cost. You have all the processes in place. So there should be some form of commitments of attendance at the office. It also helps to do with your internal corporate brand, a feeling of belonging, communication, part of a team. So that's one other thing. Be clear that there's a privilege. If this is something you're testing out, especially, a privilege which can be rescinded at any time, that you're not committed to it. Yeah? Because some people can work from home and some people can't work from home. And what you can find, you're trying to get hold of somebody and they're not there. So what they're doing is they're doing other things. It may be a situation where they've got kids or older parents and they're not available, which means they're not focusing on the work at hand. Be clear on how that works, and the fact you can actually rescind this, if you have to, because at the end of the day, whether you're a managing director, you're all working for the company, and the company is all part of the people within the company, shareholders, etc., included. So Remote conferencing. Make sure the setup was remote conferencing. Even have schedules for that. Have a working framework. So there's a clear expectation of what's required from all sides, and stick to it. So actually, when you've got remote working, sometimes it's a more rigid framework than it is when it's not, because you can't just pop into the office and have a chat with somebody. And there's people get different schedules and they work in a different way. So set up the technology so it's there. And with regards to remote location, decide where that remote location is. Is it at their home? Is it they have a satellite office? Are they using a rented space? Can they work from overseas? I mean, there's a time difference. I know people that maybe got a 1 hour time difference. They could be working in UK and working in South Africa, and there's a 1 hour time difference. So where can they actually work from? What freedom? This comes down to another point is when you have a remote worker, you have to look at their, if they're a foreigner, their work permit situation. We had a lot of talk about nomads, digital nomads who work around the world in different places. Within Thailand, there's a definition of what a person can do and cannot do. If you are working here and earning money, that means you are working here. You're not allowed to work here without a work permit. And if you do not have a work permit, then you are open to being deported and being fined up to 100,000 baht for not working here. And the employer who's employing you can be fined up between 10 and 100,000 baht per person. Now, if you are the employee and you are working here, you will also be deported and put on a blacklist. So it is quite serious. So consider what you're doing. Now, visas, what visas can you go for? There's a lot of talk about the digital sort of nomad visas. Yeah, this is all talk at the moment. There's nothing in place. So what you're left with is a smart visa where you can work without working for a company. Yeah. But you're going to have to be a highly skilled person, and you'll be earning $80,000 a year. You'll be, I believe they were talking about 17% tax, that kind of thing. But there are many restrictions on it. I'm going to leave some links in the description where you can get more information on that. Yeah? So you can see that. Another thing is if you're working for the film industry, when you're working on a movie or a documentary or something like that, and it's going through the Thai Film Office and you're a foreigner, you will get a temporary work permit. It's part of the process of getting the film permit. That is really the only, let's say, commercial side as opposed to diplomatic situation. That's the only one where I know you get a very temporary work permit. If you are a director of a company and you're coming in and you have to work, and you don't need a work permit for that because you're coming in, doing some work and leaving again. So it's just a visit. So these are some of the situations that you have to deal with regards to working remotely. I hope you can work it out. I think it's fantastic. Basically, we use it a lot. People within my industry, a lot of people do want to have be near where be in their home working and come in when they need to. But we have sort of fluid communications, and that's what makes it all work. But we are more in a creative business than anything else. I hope that was helpful to you. Please subscribe. If there's any particular topics you want us to bring up, send them through. I hope you find these useful. Give us a little bit of time on this. We're getting the format sorted out, but I hope you find it useful anyway. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.